You are listening to the Green Living Chat brought to you by EcoAmid Solutions in Ghana. I'm your host, David. There are a lot of people who can identify problems in their surroundings and in the communities in which they find themselves. But it's very difficult to go through the process of turning your ideas into solutions to solve the problems around you. Well, today, Shiv Challa joins me on this episode to discuss his initiatives with his company 3R Zero Waste. It will surprise you how Shiv, with a background in project management, could transfer all his ideas into possible solutions to solve problems around him, driven by his passion to help his people. I can't wait for you to meet this amazing man. Let's get into this chat. Stick around with us. Here we go. Hello, Shiv. Welcome to the Green Living Chats. It's really a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you, David, for having me. And this is my first sort of podcast, so really excited about it.
Yeah, I'm also super glad to have you on the podcast today because I think we have had some interactions earlier, and I really felt that it would be nice to get your perspective of how environmental management and recycling is going on in India, since we find ourselves in the same circles of Industry 5.0 and global ambassadors. This is a very good opportunity to have some discussions. So how is the situation right now where you are? Are you in India currently?
Presently, I'm in Dubai. I'm just traveling back to Kuwait, and I have to be quarantined for 15 days. So that's the reason I'm in Dubai.
That's beautiful. So how about your company? So who runs it then when you're away?
Yeah, so even though my company is just 9 months old, I have a team of 8 people working on the team. Some are full time, some are part time. So I have two operational directors and one partner in India. So yeah, things are moving on.
You know, one thing that really excites me about you is I think a couple of weeks ago, early this year, we had this discussion with Michael. Those of you who are listening, you might not know Michael. Michael Rather is the founder of Industry 5.0. And he kept mentioning Shiv, Shiv, Shiv. I'm like, who is this man? So, I mean, I went to your LinkedIn. I think we started having conversations. And the last meeting we had, you introduced yourself briefly, and I realized that, wow, you have a very interesting background, and the work that you've been able to achieve in a very short time in India is really amazing. And I think it would be nice to encourage someone with your story. How did you end up with 3R?
Yes, but I would start my introduction with the same way I did to you, a 90-second introduction. So, yes, my name is Shiv, and I am born and brought up in Calcutta, which is in the eastern part of India, where it was the previous historical capital of India, and that was a lot of history involved in that particular city. Being educated there, I did my college from an institute called St. Xavier's College, which is one of the most prestigious colleges of India as on date. So I do have very good alumni network across pan world. Every country I go, I meet my alumni members, and we have a group of people mainly into the banking sector, into financial institutes, because commerce is the the best curriculum in that particular college. So nevertheless, I was not into commerce. I opted for engineering. So there are very few people who prefer to go for engineering from that particular college, but I was one of those because of my inclination towards maths when I was young. And then I moved to southern part of India where I did my engineering. I have done my BTech in computer science, and thereafter again, I always try to do things differently. All my friends, school college mates, went to US to do their masters. Out of my 33 students in my class, 31 of them went to US, because 99 was the time where the IT was booming.
Oh.
and everybody was going to US for doing masters and getting a very good job, high paid job. But I was not interested in coding, so I landed up in a company called BHEL. They are into manufacturing of turbines, boilers, and to commission the power plants. They are the 65% market shareholder of power plants in India.
Mm.
So I worked with them, and for me, I say it is my free MBA. I That's my first job. For 6 7 years I worked with them. I learned everything, what I gave my 120%, everything. I made myself more into the job. I made myself so much that people would come to me to know the knowledge of what is happening in a project. So I got specialized in project management and a software tool called Primavera. So that is where my skills got very niche skill in India. I was like first 10 people who were trained in that software. So that made my career a very interesting path. So after that I had to move to, I was passionate about going abroad. And fortunately my first job was a neighbor to your country. I got my first job in Nigeria. I used to work with ExxonMobil, and that is where I saw how these big organizations take care of health, safety, and environment. It was just astonishing. I saw them spending millions of dollars for a small first aid case or a small incident. So it was really mind-boggling, thought-provoking to me in that particular young age. Even though I was managing almost 150 Nigerian labor force and 7 Indian expats, I was and from there my career was like a roller coaster. Every 2 years, I'm in a different country and in a different project, and that's not because of my like choice. It was just by luck. And I've worked with companies like Shell in Abu Dhabi, Bechtel in Philippines, SNC Lavalin in Australia, Escom in South Africa, and presently I'm still working with the Kuwait Petroleum Corporation subsidiary company, working on one of the largest regasification plant for LNGI.
This is this is beautiful. Anyone listening, now you understand why I was talking about Shiv, that he's a great man with a lot of achievements. I think it's very, very impressive, all the things that you've been able to achieve in line of your career. But how specifically did the interest in environmental management come in?
Yes. So while I went back from India exactly 1 year, it was I think 28th of February 2020. I came to India for a small vacation, and that was the Corona time. It was December, was the Wuhan Corona speak, and things were really maturing up. I landed up in Kuwait 28th of February, and 3rd of March was the lockdown. So I was very lucky enough to get enter. Otherwise, I would have stuck in India for like 4 or 5 months. So when I landed up, you understand, you're working from home most of the time. The offices are closed. So I'm a guy. I don't have a TV in my house. Okay, I don't have any other, like, Kuwait is not a country where you have. I'm an expat, so I don't have a lot of friends. I do dance a bit, Latin dance, but I
Oh.
don't have a very big circle. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was just thinking, reading about what should I do with my life. And suddenly, during those days, my wife used to run, she's still running a company, and she used to work on a project of recycling plant. So I used to listen lot of works, where to get the material from, what is the process of the recycling of plastic, so, and who is the customer. And I used to listen because she was busy, and I am sitting in the same balcony and or in the living room. I used to listen, and that provoked me, let me just do some research.
Yeah.
And doing them research, I thought, oh, why not to start a company, because the project is totally ready. My wife has given this proposal to X company. I
Mm-hmm.
can take the same proposal and start my own project in India. And that was the thought which came into my mind, and which started with starting a project of 100,000 project in the southern part of India for making plastic granules, from recycled plastic granules. I wanted to make an end product because there were many companies who were doing recycling, but they were not showcasing as a brand of using recycled granules as an end product. So there were not many people, and even in now in world, I don't see that. So I thought, why not come up with that sort of brand who promotes proudly that I am a recycled product, thing. So the thought started from there, and then I went inside into the deep networking people across the world. And then I some as a journey of 3 months down the lane, I understood that Shiv has been doing projects worth millions of dollars. Why should I limit myself with a small segment of recycling? Why should I not make it bigger?
Broaden your scope.
And then I Yes. And yes, from that thought, I opened my horizon. I researched on companies who are doing recycling pan world, and I see that there is a gap, you know and our Indian government is supporting, companies to dream bigger. They are saying, don't make a company for 1.3 billion people, make a company which can take care of 7.8 billion people of the world. And that is where my thoughts were very clear. And yeah, it is very hard. I know it's the destiny would be, it's a very long process, whatever. But I have made my, the destiny is where I want to be in the next 5 years, to be in the top five waste management companies in the world.
I believe that during this time of your research, you came across so many issues that are happening in India, right, in line with environmental management. And aside recycling, which was already, I mean, let's say a ready market for you, you could have ventured into any aspect of environmental management. So why this, and why 3R decided to focus specially in this?
Yes, David. Nice question. So, when I started to do my research on waste management, I saw that I lack the basic knowledge of waste management. I am an engineer, BTech in computer science. I have been projects into power plants, into mining and oil and gas. Okay, every aspect of it has the environmental health safety segment, but generally most of the companies showcase that they are taking care of it at the top level, but most do, few do and most don't do. So what I see, to give you some facts of India, in my research, 1.8 billion tons of waste is lying in our country. Since independence, India has not done any significant efforts. Lately, our prime minister, last 3 years, he has put up a campaign, and it is working very well. He has put up a competition between cities, schools, colleges, and motivating people and changing the mindset. So that is happening. So that is one thing which I see, that 1.8 billion tons is lying, and there's a huge potential. Second thing is, in my research, I came to know 3.2 million tons of e-waste is generated every year by India, and we are the third top. We are the top third country who generates the maximum e-waste. And unfortunately, in my research, when because I was exhaustively talking to people across this last 10 months, networking through LinkedIn and other social, other internations and other channels, I came to know that only 1% is being recycled. That was very astonishing. So there were 360 recyclers, authorized recyclers, but unfortunately, some of them, they didn't even have an infrastructure. They just have a paper. So that is the sad part of the bureaucratic country, that illegally, and when I say illegally, you might have seen some videos which, it's common for Africa, India, like Far East. This electronic waste is being burnt by the underprivileged people at their homes, at the roads, at small kids, and people are dying, and nobody is counting that deaths are being caused because of this situation. And that is where, it made my mindset that the first aspect I would be, indulging myself is electronic waste.
Beautiful. I'm really getting encouraged, and I believe that everyone listening should be encouraged and be thinking about, what we can do when we see the problem. Okay, so now this is how the story is going. You are back in India, thinking of what to do next. You realize that this is an open opportunity. You started researching about it. You started a company. Now let's talk about the solutions that you're bringing now. I have seen that 3R is doing a lot of projects. Day in, day out, you are coming out with new ideas and all that. What is 3R really focusing on right now? And which different projects have you been into? I think that maybe we can take them one by one because I know you have like really, really interesting projects you have outlined.
Yeah, the core operations. So I would just like to start where I left my introduction, and then connect the statement I use as a tagline. So Shiv Rao, with 23 years of core experience in project management across 13 countries, is coming back to India to clean India.
Yeah,
And when I
that
say
that
this,
that sounds
when
very, very good.
when I say this, some gentleman, he laughed at me. He said, "Shiv, you're a crazy guy? You know, how can you say clean India? Clean India is a Herculean task. I have been doing this for 40 years, and we have not achieved. So I just want to correct that, when I mean clean India, any part of India, if we are able to achieve, even 1 kilometer, I achieve. For me, it's part of India. So
Yeah.
that is my, thought. And coming to my core operations, so our business, what I have strategized is, there are two basic segments of my business. One is on the waste management segment, and the second is on the environmental consultancy. So in the waste management, the first electronic waste plant we have set up. It is based out of IMT Manesar, which is a hub for motor vehicle companies like Suzuki, Honda, Maruti. They are very well based out of this particular, like Maruti, when they came out here in 1995, if I'm not wrong, they established themselves, and they are the uh, biggest market shareholders of passenger vehicles in India. So I've chosen this particular zone because there is a big company and a lot of industries surrounding that company. And Gurgaon being the like the IT hub. So when I say electronic waste, I'm looking for my customers, IT customers. So a lot of electronic companies and IT companies are established in Gurgaon. I'm planning to have four plastic waste plants, for which I have approached Alliance to End Plastic. It is an international organization based out of Singapore. So they have proposed an expression of interest for cities of India, and I have applied for three cities. One is in Gurgaon, Vishakhapatnam, and in Pune. So hopefully, if we get that grant, we are looking forward to set up those particular facilities, and we have set up a proper budget, proper project proposal, and it integrates with our sustainability model of our company. And then the third area, which is the community waste, which includes the daily waste of the citizens. So that is the area which will be the third area where we'll be working on. So other than this, I want to launch something called waste audits, which is in industries. There is there you know there are some big corporates who does that, but very few of them. So I am doing this for industries, And I'm doing this something totally innovatively for household. I have never heard in anywhere in the world where you have a company who will come and go and help you to audit your house, because I know in my house 20% waste is lying, but I don't think about it, I don't care about it. It is using my space, right? Like same as we talk about industry 5.0, when I talk to personal life, I felt that 15 to 20% in everybody's house would be there. So why don't I make a business model where I go, I give a service, they pay me maybe $50 or $20 based on the size of the apartment. I do that service for them, and at the same time I make that raw material to my company. So it's a win-win situation. So that is something which I am trying to bring. That is in the waste management segment. The environmental consultancy, we are doing the EIA. If I'm not sure if it's same in EIA, right? Environment impact analysis.
Assessment, yeah.
So assessment, yeah, what we do for different big corporations, big projects. So that is something which we are bringing to the company. Other than that, we are bringing ISO, integrated management systems, OSAS, and environmental consultancy wherever the company needs help.
Mm.
And this includes Industry 5.0.
Yeah, I can see that your background clearly reflects in, all the operations that you are doing currently with your company. You are back in India and thinking of a new sector, indulging yourself in a whole new sector. The way you are saying this project and the things that you have been able to achieve within this short time, someone might think that is so easy for you. And I know that of course you face some challenges in there. Apart from the financial part of it and investing into it, what are some of the challenges that you're facing in your operations right now before we get into your global ambassadors and how you are helping to encourage the youth?
See, the first challenge was the lack of knowledge. So, as I mentioned to you, because I was not in this business, like, people say if you have been in education or a historian, then you could do this. If you're a doctor, you can open a hospital, right? So I didn't have this experience. So what I did is, initial first 3 months I took a course from Iwag in Switzerland, which talks about a full fledged course of like a diploma certificate, managing working about water waste, talking about sanitary waste, then fecal sludge management. So there were four different segments, and I luckily I was able to finish the whole course in the prescribed time. So that was one of the major challenge for me as an education. So I did, as a backup, I did my course. Then COVID, I was my project background, so I talk about cost and time is my key things. And I had plans to start the company on 1st of October, and to start my production on 15th of January. So I was able to achieve that irrespective of COVID. COVID was a challenge because I had to do interviews, and I have a very passionate about. It was very tricky interviews. I took interviews almost 200 people to select my four people. But the good part of it was I was learning with every interview, because I am so that was my good part of it. So I was learning every aspect of that particular person, that particular city, what was he doing. So everything was my learning. So I didn't take it as the real interview, and I got very good people, and I'm connected with them. Either they are my staff now, or they are approaching me to help me as an ambassador or as a volunteer for my non-profit organization. These were the two things. And the third challenge, being a service person is a different to see your employees, but being a boss, being a leader of a company, CEO of a company, and managing your staff is a very big challenge, because I'm seeing that people are joining me, and then because of lack of transportation, because of COVID, and that and my I gave the freedom of working from home, but it didn't work for me. I wanted to, being a waste management company, I wanted to save 2 hours of transportation for my employee and for me. I don't want he or she to be traveling and wasting a time. So I gave that opportunity to my employees to take it, but the output was not there, because I think mine is a new company and we are all learning. So we cannot be sitting in one area and learning. It was very difficult for me. And that would be one area of advice. I would say that as a startup, uh, working from home has to be little bit thought of, and only few tasks can be done work from home.
And what about the Indian culture and how people are very acceptable to change? Because you are introducing a lot of new things. How do people receive it? Something example is the auditing at home. People might be a little bit reluctant to these kind of services and benefits are they gonna get from it. So how do you package your projects and how do you package your message to make it attractive to people?
Yes, a very interesting question. And it was just today morning, me and one of my mentor, we had a meeting with a company called Z Loop. They are Dubai based company. But I'll tell you what they do before I let me answer your question. So, uh, how do I motivate people to do some environmental best practices? So that was, if you have, my pitch deck. Uh, in that segment, I have a scope of work, and item number 3.2 specifically, I talk about blockchain technology. So I have in my mind, I want to bring blockchain technology to incentivize people through an app which I'm going to create. Uh, and this particular company already did this. So this was in my game plan. And then today I had a meeting. They have already implemented in Dubai. So my thought process is, when people are doing eco-friendly gestures like proper segregation, or doing a waste audit, getting a waste audit done, or going buying eco-friendly items. So every aspect of their transaction, of their time and money, will be incentivized through some tokens, which will be using cryptocurrency, which is the future of the money, tomorrow's money. So that is where I thought I will bring that in picture, and luckily we found this company, and they are already doing this, not exactly the same thing, but very close to what we are doing, and they are ready to pivot, give us a platform, or co-brand our platform for India. And yeah, hopefully if things work out, I think that would be a big change. What I was thinking to do very down the line, maybe in 2022 later part, now we can do it very quickly.
Wow, I think it's a very brilliant idea, and I really wish you the best in that. Now let's get to the global ambassadors and the youth ambassadors. So you told us about this youth ambassadorship that you started, encouraging the youth to get into leadership in environmental advocacy and all that. What is this all about?
So before we go to the youth ambassadors, I would just, if you have seen my website, might have seen the global ambassadors. So the global ambassadors concept was the first one, which, as I mentioned to you, I started networking February, I think March 2020. The seed was in my brain. April, May, I was that plastic waste equipment project was on my brain. And I started networking, and I am an ambassador for like internations. I don't know if you're aware of this website. I'm a council there. So I do events Japan to San Francisco. So internations is a group of expat community in different countries. So when we do this COVID, everything was online. So most of the events were online. Then I could attend Japanese events, San Francisco, Europe, everywhere. So I used to do waste management events, and I used to meet people across the world. And when I asked this question on my pitch deck, if you see the first slide, are you concerned with waste management in India? I asked the same question everybody, and the answer from Japan to San Francisco is yes, because we share the same earth. And that is where I decided that global ambassadors, I'll start the global ambassadors, because that is where I met Armela from Finland, and Michael I met, and so many, Balaka, Bhanu, Mark from Singapore. Balaka is from US, Bhanu is from Australia, Katrina is from Malaysia. So Bola is from US. So I've already got these global ambassadors, and then their role is to just share best practices. There is no monetary involvement. Share best practices, share their knowledge, attend meetings when we are doing, give their inputs on any specific expertise. Like Mark is an expert in, he's working for a software giant company, so he helps me with any software related. Like now this blockchain app I'm going to develop, so he will be helping me in that. Social media is being helped by Bhanu from Australia. So this particular thought process came in May, June, and accordingly I developed that, and it helped me. So when I pitch to companies, they see that I have a wide portfolio of people across my network. And so that was one thought ambassadors. The youth ambassadors came much later. It was just maybe in the month of October, November, we started that. And the reason why we started in October, November is I started a non-profit organization. So 3R Zero Waste Private Limited was formed in July 2020, and then on September I formed a non-profit organization, because in India, uh, like myself, from 2011 I am a philanthropist. I spend 1 to 2% of my salary into social work. So I have done a lot of, I can share you one more website where my social work has been, it was a different brand name. I was more focused in rural education and upliftment. So I used to go to villages of India and share my experience, how education has changed my life, and motivate kids, and do some donations in terms of cricket equipment, volleyball, sports, because in villages they have land but they don't have any equipment to play. So I go and do that. I share my, I did some competitions to encourage their English and stuff like that. And some small houses, wherever possible, somebody didn't had house, proper house, I helped them to build a house. So small things like, so philanthropy is part of my life. So what I have done, I have requested all my employees to share 1% of their salary to the CSR funds of my company. It is not a force, but at least in the contract, I am trying to, I want to show them that if I can give, why can't you, right? And that is where I thought I should have a non-profit organization where this money will go, and we will help in helping the rural population of India talk about waste management. And that is the where I wanted my help of global youth ambassadors. These global youth ambassadors, they come under the non-profit organization to promote the best practices across the world. Again, these youth ambassadors are across the world. The first lady, she has joined, she's in the grade 11 in Dubai, and Aisha. So she's the first one. Then I have in India, we are planning to have 4 youth ambassadors, and we have one from US. So we want the same concept of having in every continent, where kids network, because now it has been like a happening thing that kids, this is for them, so they should be aware of. And it is very new. Means we have been only for the last 3 months, but we have had almost 6 meetings, and they have come up with some very good very innovative solutions, how schools can participate to become green schools and green universities and stuff like that. And I hope that will really bring a change in the society.
I think your work is very amazing, and all the innovations and the projects they are coming up with, it's so amazing. How do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What are you picturing? What is the picture you see of your companies, your projects, and even as India as a whole, bringing in the fact that you want to clean India?
So as I mentioned, in the next 3 years, to the 3R Zero Waste to be in the top 3 waste management companies in India, and in next 5 years, 3R Zero Waste to be in the top five companies of the world in waste management segment. So that's my picture where I can visualize.
I do believe that you can achieve this because you are such an amazing person, very humble as well, and very innovative in everything that you do. So, how do you think the public can help in achieving these goals and all the projects that you're doing right now? And also, if collaborators, you can let collaborators and investors know which areas you are open to, what kind of opportunities they can get if they come in, and also the general public. You can also consider these. The global ambassadors and the youth ambassadors. So how can we collaborate with you, Shiv?
Yes. So again, during my networking sessions, I use because I do network. When you're networking, you are collaborating, right? And that's why how we met. So when I came up with a, I don't know if it is you have heard before, collaborative innovation. Because I think innovation, if one person does with his mindset, with his mind, is limited. But when we collaborate with a group of people, that is massive. So I am a firm believer of that, and it is and innovation is my first value of my company, out of the three values what I have put. So yes, in terms of collaboration, the first aspect is I have come up with something called Garage 360, which is innovation hub. And again, this is a concept where I've taken from the thought process of industry 5.0. I was just wondering wherever I can implement things smartly. So my factory, we have started 500 metric ton capacity factory, and I'm not expecting my factory to be run on a 24/7 basis. So I was seeing my factory was going to be idle in the night time. So what I've done during the night time, I created a space for innovation, wherein I have already invited young minds to my factory, wherein they can stay for the night. They can stay for a couple of days. There is a space for sleeping. There's a space, separate bathroom, taking care of everything. Food will be arranged, okay, and they can spend 48 hours, 72 hours package. They come and they innovate with the available resources in my factory. So this is something where I'm very passionate about, and I'm going to promote this as I grow, because presently financially I'm not sound to because we have started paying rents. The operating expenditure has started, but we are not able to get some revenues because contracts are not readily available. So I'm not pushing it much, but that is one area where I want, India, we have not done much innovation on waste. So there is a lot of potential is there, where I want to involve citizens, industries, where they can give their waste to us. And there are few industries like some leather industry, they want to give their the sliced leather, but they don't know what to be done. So this is one area where I am looking for association. The second is the growth of the company. As we grow, we would have our people can visit our website, zerowaste.co.in, zero being a numerical zero, and our social media pages, which we can share in the podcast below, and our non-profit organization, which is 3RZW Environment Foundation. So, and the website is zerowaste.org.in. That is where people can contribute both in terms of time and money to support impact projects. Recently, we have done one project in one of the sector one Manesar, where we have donated dustbins for separating plastic waste. So things like that we can do more. Presently, we did from our capacity, but we would like to do more projects like this.
I think that it's a great thing, and investors and other people out there will be very interested in. As part of the global ambassadors team, I actually wanted us to have this conversation and put it out there so that we can also expand the global ambassadors team, because people get to hear about this innovation and things that you're doing. The great minds. We can even collaborate and implement the same ideas in other countries, and we open and widen the community that you're making right now. and it's a very, very good idea. I have one more question for you, Steve. If you were to change something in India concerning the way we behave towards environmental protection, what would it be?
I would say education the education of environment is very very minimal in India specifically, and it has changed. Maybe it was 0.001, it has become 0.02, but I think it has to uh, be a more significant number, and it should be applicable from maybe from rhymes. From the start the people start studying in the rhymes also. You should have mother earth and environmental issues storytelling, so it should be all across. And I see English language being a compulsory course for every graduate, if I'm not wrong. There is something which is common. I would say environment should be that common language, irrespective you're an engineer, you're a lawyer, you're a commerce graduate. You should know about environment first, being as a humanity.
It's been a great conversation having you here, Shiv. I don't know if you have any last words.
Yes, and no, the last thing what I would say is, being in this industry, definitely we want to grow. And yes, investors, presently, people have asked me about, Shiv, can we invest? And I've told them no for now, because I said that I should have the feeling of, how I can do it. I can make some profits. I've invested close to, couple of thousands of dollars, but I want to show this is a profit making. It is a social entrepreneurship, but it is for a profit. So once I know that, I can make it, then I can justify taking investments from people. So that is why I have not taken as of now, but since now the plant is ready, and hopefully by next year we will be able to see, couple of traction in the business. And I want to expand this electronic waste into bigger plant, wherein I'll have my own premises. Presently, it is on the leased premises. I want to buy my own land and set up. And the government is, putting up good perks for recyclers in India, so that is a good thing. So I would be open if people are interested for impact investment and for taking some equity. That is one area. And yes, and thanks, David, for bringing me on the board and being part of the global ambassadors of Shria Zero Waste. And I'm very hopeful that, if you are ready to implement any aspects of this, I would be glad. And you could take as a my one of the ambassadors that role of how things, what things can be duplicated where, and based on the personal choice of that individual. So maybe from the next weeks, I hope you're attending our this Friday. There's a meeting,
Definitely.
and we can discuss that particular aspect. You taking that particular aspect of the ambassador role.
Thank you so much, Shiv. It's been a very interesting conversation, and I really thank you so much for making time, even as you're traveling right now and you're very busy, and you make time for this, and for sharing your thoughts and the innovations that you're doing now. I really appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Bye.
Well, that's it for this episode. I hope you have been encouraged to make a change in your community. Well, you can be the next Shiv in your community by turning your ideas into possible solutions of the numerous environmental issues that we see around us. Let's together try to make a change the mess that we have created in our environment. We would love to hear your comments and things that you would like to hear more on this podcast. Let's get this conversation running. See you on the next episode. Until then, live green.